I'm Charles Strong III of Strong Counseling Solutions LLC. We offer on-site counseling in Gretna, Louisiana, and board-approved online counseling throughout the state of Louisiana. For PLPCs seeking to become licensed, we offer supervision. And for mental health rehabs, we offer services of assessment, psychotherapy, and consulting. Last year in Psychology Today, Dr. Alison Escalante contributed to an article called Why Kids' Depression Goes Unnoticed. So there are a couple of headers that were presented that I want to talk about. For the first one, parents don't listen. Now, I feel that knee-jerk reaction from the other parents out there. That's hard to swallow. But if we look at it, it was said that the parents are busy or they're online, they don't notice, and that makes sense, right? So technology has presented all kinds of awesome stuff, but with it have come so many more distractions. Parents are also busy in general, just doing what they need to do for the household, for the family, just to keep things going day to day. But as we're still in a pandemic, schools look different, right? So some daycares aren't open anymore. Some schools are hybrid, so the kids attend from home and at school, or all kinds of different variants. For workplace scenario, some jobs may be at a distance, so you can do them from home. Uh, Unemployment might be a factor. So more people are in the house, and children need attention. So it's kind of the perfect storm there for stress in general, and we go over that through other videos. So another header is parents try to fix them. So already there's a negative connotation there. I heard that term many times from parents effectively dropping off their children when I was working in the MHR, the mental health rehab, for 7 years. So they'd often say, like, I don't know what's going on, just fix them, or I need you to fix this, right? Um, but what do you fix if you think about it? You fix broken things. So what kind of message is that sending? Um, so that aside, Dr. Escalante said that um, most parents have always been solving the children's issues and healing their wounds since they were little. And that's true, right? But they need us more as infants than they do as, growing people. Um, as they get older, we need to make room for that level of autonomy that is building and building and building. We need to encourage their independence while still caring for them. And that's a fine line sometimes to determine when you need to help them and when you need to step back, because when they're going to ride that bike, they're going to stay on it this time. Another header, parents tell children that their feelings are temporary. Um, Parents often tell youth that something they're going through isn't real or it's a phase well into teenage years. And that's a horrible message, right? Because if a young person is going against the discomfort, the nervousness of expressing themselves and expressing something that's important to them or something that's inside of them, something that's going on, if we shut that down and not only not listen, but if we tell them that they're wrong, that we know better, um, think of the damage that that can do. Think of how much strength that often takes for someone to come out, a young person to come out and say, this is what I'm struggling with. Please listen to me. Please believe me. Please help me. Another header, parents don't check in again. So Dr. Escalante was talking about if the kid looks okay on the outside, parents will often move on, and they worry that they're going to trigger the depression if they talk about it. So this goes to child parent psychotherapy, a modality that I practice that I mentioned in other videos, where we typically we deal with the caregiver youth dyad when trauma is present. Uh, and there's something called speaking the trauma or naming the trauma, um, where naturally we worry that if we talk about something horrible that happened in the past, it's going to bring up that negative, icky feeling all over again. And sometimes that's true. But we find that generally, if we successfully process something and work through something, that icky feeling tends to go away. That reminder of even a horrible event, or in this case, a depression, um, that loses its negative power. And if it doesn't, then maybe you reveal things that still need to be processed. For the final header, children often protect their parents. So Dr. Escalante was talking there about youth don't want to burden their parents because they know their parents will feel responsible in a way for that, and pile on, so to speak. And we see this often in like the cases of divorce, the cases of abuse in the household. Children will often step up to do things that they should not be asked to do, and they should not be expected to do. They try to be that hero, that protector for their parents because they love them. But this is something that should not be put on the plate of a child. So I think with communication, that helps um, that helps identify the roles, the expectations of the members of the household, and clarify that, different things that may have factored into this, like it's not your fault. I'm not going to blame this on you. These messages, I think, can help prevent the child from uh, either lying or withholding or any sorts of communication tactics that would prevent healthy communication. So Dr. Escalante talked about setting up relationships where children feel comfortable confiding in parents. We talked about that just now. Demystifying depression itself. So if you've struggled with depression, or a trusted person in the family has struggled with depression, something like that, they can tell those stories, and that goes back to that checking in thing that we talked about a moment ago. It's helpful to see other people who have dealt with similar things, not the same thing, similar things, and made it through. Using the doctors to introduce the idea that you can visit the doctor for more than just fevers and coughs. So many of us just go to the doctor whenever there's a physical ailment that has us on our butts, right? But the doctors can help in many more ways than that. And it's important to let the child know that this is something else the doctor can may be able to help with. And if not, can refer to someone who can. Go beyond doctors, identify other trusted adults. So we've talked about that. Having that resource base is immensely important in just about anything that we struggle with, right? The more people that can help us, the better our chances in making it through. So these are some things that Dr. Alison Escalante felt lead to children's depression going unnoticed. A lot of these things boil down to communication, I think, and honoring that though a person is young, they're still a person. They're growing in autonomy. They are growing in identity. They are developing these communication skills, and it takes a lot, oftentimes, for them to come out and express what they're struggling with. And we need to be willing to hear that and treat that as real, because otherwise, they struggle with this on their own, and they won't want to seek help when they need it. That's our talk for today. Hope you learned something or found something interesting. You can find more videos like these on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. We'll be back next week with a new video. So until then, thanks and be well.